two neighbors with nuclear weapons. On the brink of war.
India launching a military operation.
Pakistani armed forces blew Indian jets.
The conflict between India and Pakistan could spiral out of control.
It's the conflict that many have called a possible prelude to World War III, and one that has already played out multiple times over the last 70 years. India versus Pakistan, a clash of powers that, if both sides committed fully to, would be the largest armed conflict since World War II. But which side really has the upper hand? And what would a conflict end up looking like between these two intense rivals? History shows that Pakistan suffered crushing defeats in both the 1965 and 1971 wars, changing the balance of power in South Asia for decades. But recent escalations have flipped the narrative. Pakistan claims to have downed 7 Indian Rafale jets, destroyed India's prized S-400 air defense systems, and struck multiple military installations. Just as tensions spiraled toward another war, the United States stepped in to halt escalation. Now, the world is left wondering, in the event of a full-scale conflict, how would India and Pakistan's military stack up against each other? Could Pakistan hold its ground? Or would India's size and resources overwhelm its neighbor? Before we break down the numbers, strategies, and scenarios that could define the next great conflict in South Asia, make sure you've subscribed, liked the video, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our deep dives into global military rivalries. When we look at money, the gap between India and Pakistan is massive. India's defense budget in 2025 is around $74 billion US, placing it as the 4th largest defense spender in the world, just behind Russia, China, and the US. Pakistan, on the other hand, spends only about $6.3 billion. That means India spends more than 10 times what Pakistan can afford on defense every single year. This isn't just about having more cash, it's about what that money buys. India has poured resources into modernizing its forces, buying advanced Russian tanks like the T-90, French fighters like the Rafale, and even developing its own domestic platforms, such as the Tejas fighter jet and the Arjun main battle tank. Pakistan, with its smaller budget, relies heavily on Chinese designs like the JF-17 Thunder and Haider MBT, along with aging American F-16s. India also has the advantage of investing in large-scale projects such as nuclear-powered submarines and indigenous missile defense systems, things that Pakistan simply cannot match financially. The budget numbers alone show why India can maintain technological superiority across all domains, land, air, and sea, while Pakistan is forced to pick its battles carefully. When it comes to nuclear strength, both India and Pakistan are among the few countries in the world with atomic capabilities. This balance of power has shaped their rivalry for decades. India is estimated to hold around 160 to 170 nuclear warheads, while Pakistan is believed to have slightly more, roughly 170 to 180. On paper, Pakistan appears to edge ahead in numbers, but the true measure lies in delivery systems and missile technology. India's missile program is more advanced, especially with its Agni series. The Agni V, for instance, is an intercontinental ballistic missile with a range exceeding 5,000 kilometers, giving India the capability to reach targets well beyond its neighborhood. Alongside this, India is developing multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, which would allow a single missile to strike multiple targets at once. Pakistan, on the other hand, relies heavily on its Shaheen and Gauri missile series. The Shaheen 3, with a range of 2,750 kilometers, puts most of India within reach. Pakistan emphasizes mobility and quick deployment to offset India's technological edge. In short, India holds the advantage in sophistication and reach, while Pakistan leans on flexibility and slightly larger stockpiles. When it comes to boots on the ground, India holds a decisive numerical edge. Its military is made up of about 1.44 million active duty personnel, compared to Pakistan's 657,000. On paper, that's more than double the manpower, giving India sheer size and flexibility. But numbers alone don't tell the whole story. Pakistan's smaller size means its 550,000 reservists can be mobilized faster than India's much slower pool of 1.2 million. That means Pakistan's reinforcements could reach the front lines first, putting immediate pressure on India's active forces before its full might is mobilized. Tanks, however, tell a different story. India fields roughly 4,292 main battle tanks, almost twice Pakistan's 2,200. India's primary tank, the Soviet-built T-72 with upgrades, is still considered a capable platform, whereas Pakistan's Chinese-made Type 59 is an outdated copy of an older Soviet design. In a direct clash, Indian armor would almost certainly dominate. India also fields over 4,000 artillery units compared to Pakistan's 1,226, giving it more than triple the firepower. But Pakistan has one crucial advantage: defense. Fighting on home soil, its smaller numbers would matter less early on, allowing it to trade territory for time before India's overwhelming weight eventually tells. In the skies, India once again has the upper hand. Its Air Force operates around 2,123 aircrafts compared to Pakistan's 1,372. Out of these, India has about 538 fighter jets, while Pakistan fields 356. But the difference lies in quality as much as quantity. India's crown jewel is its fleet of 260 Sukhoi Su-30 MKIs, highly capable Russian fighters. Pakistan's best counter is the American-made F-16, but it only has 76 of them, and not all are fully modernized. The rest of its fleet consists largely of Chinese aircrafts, like the JF-17, which generally lag behind Russian and American designs in performance. India's advantage doesn't stop there. Its transport fleet is 5 times larger, with 250 aircrafts compared to Pakistan's 49. And its helicopter fleet doubles Pakistan's at 722 versus 346. That kind of mobility gives India a huge logistical advantage, especially in tough terrain like the mountainous northwest. But Pakistan does have a trick up its sleeve: attack helicopters. It operates 56 American-made Cobras compared to India's 23. In close support roles, especially in mountain warfare, those Cobras could wreak havoc unless India deploys enough air defenses. Still, India's overwhelming numbers mean the skies would slowly but surely tilt in its favor. Out at sea, the difference between the two powers is staggering. India operates 294 naval assets compared to Pakistan's 114. Most importantly, India has 2 operational aircraft carriers, INS Vikrant and INS Vikramaditya, while Pakistan has none. This means India can project air power across the Indian Ocean and far beyond Pakistan's shores. India also fields 12 destroyers, 12 frigates, and 18 corvettes, giving it a balanced blue water capability. Pakistan, by contrast, has no destroyers, 9 frigates, and 7 corvettes, meaning its fleet is largely defensive. Submarines tell another story. India has 18, including the Arihant-class nuclear-powered submarine, capable of carrying ballistic missiles and staying underwater for months. Pakistan has 8 diesel-powered submarines, like the Agosta 90B, effective but smaller and less survivable in long-term operations. Even with advanced French Exocet missiles, Pakistan's submarines cannot match India's nuclear deterrent at sea. Patrol vessels further widen the gap. India deploys 137, while Pakistan has 69. In simple terms, India has built a true blue water navy, one capable of dominating the Indian Ocean and securing global trade lines, while Pakistan's navy is restricted to coastal defense. any naval conflict would quickly tilt in India's favor. Pakistan's military reality shows both its strengths and its struggles. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so we can keep bringing you more clear insights into global conflicts.